Alright, what's going on, man? It's your boy Knickerbocker and I'm back with another video, man. Looking for my star, so I'm not going nowhere. Honestly, I confuse myself sometimes when it comes to these intros. It just, whatever comes to me when the camera turns on, that's what I do. But this is going to be another recent pickup video. It's been a cool little minute since I did a recent pickup video. I want to say it's been about I did it at the end of last year. So it's been like almost 4 to 5 months since I did a recent pickup video. And the truth is, honestly, I just haven't been buying much. So in comparison to other recent pickup videos, I don't think this one's gonna be as big, but I really do like a lot of the pieces in this recent pickup video. So in fear of yapping too much, let's go ahead and get into this recent pickup. All right, so the pieces that I'm gonna be showing first are pieces that's already been showcased on my YouTube channel that have their own dedicated video. So the first one I'm gonna be talking about is none other than the Vanetta Cardo Tims. Now, if you watched my video where I did the review of these boots, then you'll know this is my first pair of Tims. Now, I've always been hip to Tims. I've had homies who own pairs of Tims. I know on the East Coast, Tims are huge. Like, I've always been hip to them. I've just never owned a pair myself. This being my first pair, and I said this in the review, I went into the review wanting to hate these boots because everybody talks about Tims. Tims are super popular now. And I was like, man, everybody just buying into the hype. Now that I own a pair, the hype is warranted. Given that these are boots, I thought they were going to be uncomfortable. I thought they were going to be cutting into my feet. I thought they were going to be, you know, after the 2-hour mark, I want to take them off. I've put some hours into these boots. This is probably my most worn shoe at the moment. Like, I've put some hours into these boots. I haven't had any major concerns, especially if I'm comparing it to another boot. It's really unmatched. Like, I haven't had any issues. I've flown in these shoes, sat at the airport, drove in these shoes, going on walks in these. Like, I've done a lot in these Tims and they're actually super comfortable. Now, I did get this comment recently on my YouTube short where I was doing the unboxing for these boots, and they were asking if the cracking on the shoe is bad or like how is the creasing on it. And honestly, given how many hours I've put in these boots, given how many times I've worn them, different conditions I've worn them in, raining, you know, blazing heat, like giving all the times I've worn these boots, I thought they were going to be a little bit, you know, worse condition than they currently are. But there's not really crazy. Like, there's very minor cracking, creasing on these boots. Given that it's like more of like that patent leather, I thought it was going to be cracking a little bit more like my Babes does have. But honestly, the creasing is very mild. Like they're not crazy. They don't look beat up. They don't look crazy. Like, they still look very good given how many times I've worn them and how many hours I've put into the boot. But wrapping it all up, the Vanetta Cardo Tims, this being my first pair of Tims, I think I'm in love with Tims. I think I will definitely in the future see myself getting more Tims, more than 5 for sure, just because there's a lot of collabs. They do a lot of different, you know, textures. They do a lot of patterns. I just think there's a lot out there when it comes to Tims. They've been in the game for a long time. And I think since owning this pair, I can understand why this company is one of those long-lasting brands when it comes to streetwear and just footwear in general. All right, so next up, I have the Supreme MFG collab. Now, this already has its own dedicated video on my channel. So if you do want to watch my more in-depth thoughts on this collab, that video is right there. But again, this is just fire, bro. A brand that I just have an affinity for. I mean, I've literally liked this brand from like freshman year in high school well into adulthood. Like, this brand is just always going to be in my closet, whether it's just one piece, 5 pieces. Like, there's always going to be an MFG piece in my closet throughout life. That's just like, I've already decided that's just what it is. But the Supreme MFG collab was just honestly so great because you're bringing MFG back to the forefront, and they did it very tastefully. It didn't feel like, again, the thing that I've been harping on for a very long time, whether it be the MFG Supreme collab or just any collab in general, like when you're collabing with a brand, you want it to feel like the ethos of that brand. So like, I'm very happy that this MFG Supreme collab feels like MFG plus Supreme versus Supreme plus MFG. Like, this is very MFG coded with the shorts. The shorts are just very on brand. Very on brand. They didn't try to do anything so different that it didn't feel like what was that? They didn't try to do something so different that it didn't feel like the brand itself. Whether it be with the jersey, the shorts, the leather bomber, the denim set, like everything felt like MFG, and it just so happened that it was a collab with Supreme. So again, I really love these pieces. Like, these pieces are just like, they're me. They are me at its core. I love the length of the shorts. I love the jersey just because like it felt like something that I would see in the early 2000s. But yeah, the Supreme MFG collab. I mean, I'm always gonna have these pieces. I don't know why I would ever get rid of them. They're definitely gonna remain in my closet from here on out. But definitely they are dropping in prices across all secondary markets. So like if you want to shop on Depop, Grailed, Go, all that, like those prices are significantly coming down. So it probably is the best time to get them at this moment before it becomes like this was like, you know, let's say it's like 2035 and it's like, oh, this is a collab they did back in 2025 when they came back. Like you want to get it early before it becomes like it's a vintage piece. Let me just say that. All right, so this is going to be the last piece that's going to be something that I've already previously talked about on my channel, but this is going to be that Denim Tears Type 2 jacket. Now, I've talked about this in another recent pickup video. Honestly, I want to say it was like 8 months ago or 9 months ago when I did that recent pickup video. And like, I love this piece. Like, you don't really see Type 2 jackets like this. Like, this is very unique, standoutish. It has colors that I love. And like, I love the piece. It was just the fact that like the sleeve length was too long. And like from top to bottom, it was too long. And I feel like it didn't really fit how I wanted it to fit. So the reason that I'm bringing it up in this video is because I just recently got it tailored. And honestly, it was a pretty fair price to get it tailored. It was like $108. And given that it's a Type 2 jacket and you have to like remove certain pieces to like give it that crop that you want, and you have to put it back on and make it almost be cohesive still, like he did a really good job making this piece fit how I wanted to fit. And I found a new love for it. Like the shape on it, the sleeve length, you know, everything just fits how I want it to fit now. And I definitely see myself rocking it a little bit more. It sucks that we're, you know, well into spring and summer's about to pop up. So I don't really think I'm going to have too many opportunities to rock it. But going into fall and winter, oh yeah, no, it's definitely getting put on. So that is the last piece of old things. Now let's talk about the new shit. All right, so the first piece of the new pickup is actually going to be the piece that I'm wearing right now. You can't really see it on me right now because the lighting is just so crazy, but here it is. Now, this is going to be a tank top from the brand Knickerbocker. Now, I know, it sounds crazy. You probably shouldn't say this brand too fast because you might slip up and you may not be a person of melanin skin and you might be around some people who are, and I don't want you to have any issues. But the brand is Knickerbocker. Actually, it sounds worse when you slow it down. Knickerbocker, like just get it out the way. But this brand is really dope. And I used to work in a retail store that carried it. So I had a lot of experience, you know, just touching the fabric, feeling the structure of it. And like everything that I was able to get my hands on, whether it be a hoodie, a polo, a shirt, this tank top, like everything just felt so well constructed. And I was just like, this brand is making really good premium qualities that I feel like a lot of people may not know of the brand Knickerbocker, and you definitely should because they make some really good pieces that I feel like will carry out for a long time. Like it's not the sheen level where, you know, you may get 2 or 3 washes in and it kind of deteriorates. Like I feel like they are making garments that are like really well constructed. But let's talk about this tank top. Now, off the rip, when I put it on, I wasn't in love with it just because like most tank tops, when it comes to my body composition, I'm like 70% legs, 30% torso. Like they just look too long. They almost look like, you know, a dress on me because they go down so far. So like automatically when I put it on and I looked in the mirror, I was like, this is definitely going to be one of those things that's always tucked. And it honestly looks really good tucked. And I was surprised because in my experience, I thought I was done with tank tops. Just because of my body composition, I didn't think I was going to find a tank top that fits me how I want it to fit. And I was kind of just checking out the game. I never really owned a premium line of tank tops. Typically my tank tops come from like Target, Walmart, like the typical Hanes joints. Like those are the tank tops I rock. So when I tucked this in, I was like, oh, this is pretty fire. I could get down with how it looks, but also the main thing that I want to focus on when it comes to this tank top is the feel of it. The weight of it, perfect. It's soft. It doesn't feel itchy, scratchy, nothing. Like it feels amazing on. And for the price of 60 bones, it goddamn better be soft. But yeah, this is definitely going into summer. I am going to need an unlimited supply of tank tops. If you have any recs of brands who have good tank tops, please leave a comment below. But yeah, going into summer, I need tank tops. I'm going to need to have a little bit more airflow. And I feel like you have the versatility aspect of like, if you have a tank top on, you can throw a button up over it, give it a little bit more upscale look. But then if it begins to get a little too hot, you can take it off and then you could go back to having that like more relaxed, casual fit to it. So like tank tops going into summer are going to be crucial. All right, so staying in the category of sleeveless tops, this piece right here comes from the brand Cardo. Now this brand is based in New Delhi, India. And as I was gearing up to actually make this video, I started to think to myself, this may be the first brand from India that I've owned. Now I may have owned something that was probably made in India, but a brand specifically from India, this is definitely the first brand I've ever owned that was from India. And since owning this piece, I've been calling this a tank top for the longest. I don't know what it is because when I look at it, I just think tank top. But I think on their website, they classify this as a vest, which now that I think about it, that makes more sense. And this is definitely going to be one of those pieces when we like really in the heat of summer. I'm talking like June, July, August, when it's like 115 outside. Oh, this is going to be one of those pieces that's going to allow airflow. You're not going to have a buildup of sweat. Like you going to be cool in this piece as long as you stay cool. You be cool, you stay cool. And since it is categorized as a vest, I actually threw it on with a shirt under it. And it looked really good with the shirt under it. So it's going to be one of those versatile pieces that you can wear like in the summer, but also going into fall, I can see myself layering it with like a thermal, long sleeve shirt, a button down. So like it's a really good cop in my opinion. Like I'm glad I got this. And I also saw that it did different colors. I would love to see this in a yellow, in a purple, in a red, burgundy. I would love to see this in many colors. So if anyone from Cardo, which, come on, who are we kidding? No one from Cardo is watching this. Y'all need to do every single color in this vest possible. I would love to have a multitude of these to throw on with different things, to layer with different things. That's just my little take. All right, so these next pieces come from the Canadian brand Kotn. Now they sent over like this vest right here, kind of like that moto vibe to it. And then they also sent the pants to match it. And I've had prior experiences with this brand. Although I didn't necessarily like those previous pieces, the structure of them were really good. So like when they said they wanted to send me some more pieces, I wasn't like, deterred away from like wanting to work with them because I knew they made well constructed things. Now I was very shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I was shocked. Because when I got the pieces, I was thinking it's going to be more of like a traditional cut, traditional fit to them, more straight than like baggy. But like the pants is what actually shocked me because they have like a slim profile and then they start to like taper off. Or not taper off, they begin to like flare out a little bit. So you get that stacked, that baggy look to the pants, and they're not really baggy in the waist. The pants are a size 36, which they fit me exactly how I need them to fit. The vest is a size large, and like it's a good set. And then like the great thing about it is it's not heavyweight. It's not even medium weight. Like this thing is light. Like this whole set is very light. Like it's geared to like spring fashion, almost summer. I wouldn't necessarily rock the full set during the summer, but like I can see me rocking the vest during the summer. I can see me rocking the pants during the spring and the summer, or like with the proper top. So like I probably won't wear it together, until like winter and fall. But like it is very lightweight, like so lightweight that I feel like if I get caught on a door and I get snagged on something, like I might rip a pretty big hole in it just because like it's a really light material. I don't really know what it is, but it's a very light material on this full set. But I really do like the set. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Kotn for sending this over. Well, hello. More present day cloth here. Now, those clips that you saw previously in this video are going on 3, maybe 4, 5, depending on what day I decide to actually post this video. But those clips are old. And for some reason, in the midst of recording and editing that video, I felt completely drained. Like my tank had just gone completely on E. And I just stood up and I was like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. And I don't necessarily share too much of my personal life on social media because I feel like in the grand scheme of it all, a lot of people just don't care. They're here for the fashion takes, the sneaker takes, the food takes. Like people are coming from their reality and watching the video. So they don't necessarily want to tune into someone that's just trauma dumping and telling them about all their bad experiences in life. But I feel like it's important for me to add this part or add this segment into this video because like I reached a point where I was just like, I don't feel like posting, bro. Like I was consistently posting every Sunday for a very long time, a full year and some change. And I was burnt out, bro. I couldn't make the post. And I was like so hell-bent on making the post that like I was no longer enjoying it, bro. Like I was just like, this like, it felt too much like a job. And yes, people have made careers out of being on social media. And I don't want to get on camera and be fake. And I don't want to be on camera and like, I'm not having a good time and I'm solely just trying to push it out for content. So that's why I just stepped away from the computer completely. Turned my camera off, shut down Adobe, and I just stepped away from it. And I just said, I just need to take a break from it, bro. Like I was just exhausted. I was drained. Had a lot going on in my personal life. One thing I will share, it's so crazy how like life could be looking like it's going good. And then boom, your car all of a sudden needs something. I just had to get a new radiator, AC, cooling system, all the other bullshit. Yeah, that ran me a ticket. I'm screaming on the inside, but I'm keeping it cool, calm, and collective. With K's. KKK. But yeah, it's wild to me just being a human, bro. And like, it's so wild to me that like, even if your life is in shambles, not saying my life is in shambles, but like, even if your life is in shambles, you know, bills are stacking up or whatever the case may be, you almost have to put on a mask and like show that like, I'm good. Like, even though you may not be good internally, you have to put on a mask like, I'm cool. And I catch myself doing that sometimes. Again, my life is not in shambles. I'm not saying that. But I have caught myself in instances being like, you know, someone would be like, oh, how you doing? I'm fine. And I'm not necessarily fine. And it's just interesting how like you have to kind of go through the day as if you're fine, you know, given what the current economic state of the world is, you know, political environment, your job, you know, your family, and like all these things. Like, even if that's not going good, you still have to put up an image as if you are good. I don't know. It's just like it's a very interesting thing being a human. And of course I'm yapping because I'm trying to reach that, you know, watch time hour. And if you made it this far in this video and you're still watching, I definitely appreciate you because, you know, I've been trying to hit that for a while now. Y'all be trying to click out of my videos. But yeah, I just wanted to put this part in this video because at the end of the day, bro, I'm human, bro. And I'm not pushing out content if I'm not feeling good about it. So this is like, you know, 3 or 4 days past when I recorded this previously. I'm going to add some segments into this video that are like up to date and current of like me now. And then I'm going to finish it off with the last 2 clips that I have that I recorded previously. And that's going to be the video. Again, sorry I couldn't get this out on Sunday. I typically try to stick to my schedule, but I got burnt out, bro. I got burnt out. I was exhausted mentally. Like literally, like when I stood up from the computer and I just turned everything off, I just laid there. Didn't turn the TV on. I didn't do nothing. Like I just laid there because I'm like, bro, my mind is always going. I just need to take a break. And this also may be a sign for somebody else. Like, you know, it's cool to take a break, bro. Like you can always get back to it. I didn't take some, you know, grandiose break, but even just like within my life, trying to make a post on Sunday sometimes is pretty hard. Like I have a job, I have a family, and I just have things in my life that need my attention. So like, again, trying to make a Sunday post every week, you know, I think it started to take its toll on me. And that's why I just need to take a step back, not worry about the Sunday post and just get back to it when I got back to it. But without further ado, I've been yapping long enough. Y'all know me, professional yapper. Let's get back to the video. All right, so this next piece is special to me. And it's not special because it's a super crazy out there piece. It's not special because it's an archive piece and I've been wanting it for a while. It's special for one simple reason. It's going to be this vintage t-shirt. This is going to be the 1996 Olympics. This is when it was held in Atlanta. And the reason that it's special to me is because it was made during the year of 1996. The year I was born. I know, I'm getting up there. Unk status is approaching for sure. But have you ever done something unintentionally, and then when you realize that you are doing it unintentionally, you start doing it intentionally? That's been me lately with vintage tees. I didn't realize how many 1996 shirts that I had until I just looked one day. I was like, oh, that's 96. Oh, that's dope. Then I saw another shirt. I was like, oh, that's 1996 too? This shirt is 1996? So at this point, I'm going to just start getting pieces, especially vintage tees. And now if I could find some dope pants or maybe a jacket or something from 96, that'd be, amazing. That would be special. I would love that. One thing that I am looking for. So if you're out there watching, a 1996 Freaknik shirt. Just putting it out there into the existence. I'm putting it out there into the world for people to know, so you can look for me. I'm looking for a Freaknik 1996 shirt. So if you know somebody that got one, send them my way. But yeah, I mean, this shirt is just really dope. I like it. It's simple. This is very much so an iconic, Olympics. The fact that it was just like in Atlanta, it's just crazy to me. Like thinking about, what Atlanta is now. If they had another Olympics in the U.S. that was in Atlanta, boy, that thing would be crazy. I'm sure it was crazy back then, but right now, oh man, Atlanta would be crazy. So that's really the main reason I got this shirt. I think I definitely will crop it. I mean, what am I saying? I'm definitely going to crop it. Just because I like a good crop. This shirt is like really long on me, and it doesn't look bad with the original state of the shirt, but I just like a good crop. I'm not going to crop it crazy, but I just need a little bit, maybe an inch, maybe two. We'll have to see what it looks like. But yeah, that's really why I got this shirt. Yeah, I mean, that's all I got when it comes to this shirt. It's from 1996 and it's the Olympics. Next. All right, so next up is a piece that I simply just have to test out for myself. I can't just believe the hype sometimes when it comes to brands. And in this brand in particular, I'm talking like 2020, 2021, slightly in 2022, but I feel like it's definitely kind of died down in like the perception of like what hits my Explore page and what I see athletes wearing. This brand was everywhere. I mean, I literally couldn't get it off my Explore page. I couldn't get it off my feed. People was always rocking a pair of their shorts, a pair of their sweats, a hat, a beanie. Like I saw this brand everywhere, and I was just so happened in Vegas, and they just got a new storefront in Vegas. So I probably wouldn't have bought this had I not been in Vegas at that exact moment and had I not walked past it, because it's never been a brand that I've like been interested in buying. But like since I was in Vegas, had a little drinks in me, and I walked past the store, I was like, I need to go in there. So I tried on a pair of shorts and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and pick them up, just because I knew I wanted to make a video on them, just because I remember seeing them so much. But the brand that I'm going to be talking about is those E-shorts, man, those Eric Emanuel mesh shorts. I'm telling you, bro, from every athlete you can think of, whether it be football, whether it be basketball, soccer, like I saw these shorts so much, and I just had to get them for myself to see what the hype is all about. Because when I think about mesh, I think about PE in high school and the shorts that I had in PE. Like that's when I think of, like when I think of mesh, that's what I think of. So I'm like, there has to be something about these shorts. It has to be elevated mesh. It has to be elevated materials. Like that's why people are flocking to the brand. And now that I have them, I'm gonna be truthful. At around a $98, $106 after tax, they're just mesh shorts at the end of the day. I mean, they look good. I think that's one thing that's working in their favor. They look amazing. They have a variety of colors that you can basically match anything in your closet with all the colors that they have in these shorts. But at the end of the day, they are simply mesh shorts. Simple. And that's not to bash them, because I looked this brand up. They're actually doing production in the U.S., which I have to give you a lot of credit, because having the name that you already have, you don't necessarily have to continue to do your production in the US. And I'm sure as far as like profit wise, you'll probably profit a little bit more if you move, manufacturing and production to like Honduras or, Bangladesh or like some other country. I'm sure the profit margins will look a little bit sweeter had you move, that process somewhere else. So I give you credit. That $98, it makes sense to a certain degree. Again, at the end of the day, mesh shorts. But I can understand it because it's US made. Now I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it why you charging that much. And more power to you, because the brand is very successful. I'm not here trying to shit on the brand. I'm not trying to say anything bad about the brand. Very successful brand. I've seen this brand everywhere. That's like, I'm not trying to say anything bad. But at the end of the day, being somebody who consumes fashion, sneaker, like all that, I purchase things. Would I pay another $98 for a pair of these shorts? Maybe I'm just broke. I don't know. I think that, I'm just broke. That's what it is. And it's very interesting because, I have to bring up this conversation. Because if you're not aware, there's been like a big push for people to stop wearing polyester. And you can do your own independent like research or, search on why people are kind of moving away from like wearing polyester. You know, it's bad for the body. It's also bad for the environment. The certain chemicals that go into making polyester can be absorbed through the skin. And people are like, you know, getting hip to that. And people are like, you know, I don't want to put something harmful into my body. It's almost like plastics and like microplastic when it comes to like, you know, bottles. But in fear of like misspeaking, because I'm not an expert in that realm, I do recommend everyone do their own little Google searches and like figure out why people are kind of moving away from polyester as a whole, especially for the body. So much so that somebody that I know that has, you know, a clothing brand who had a hot piece out there, like people was buying it by the, you know, they was rocking it. He stopped production completely just because of like the way that he feels about polyester and how it feels on the body and like how bad it is for the body. He stopped production completely on it. So that should kind of give you a, you know, a little sign of like why people are moving away from it and how that's affecting the clothing industry as a whole. I don't know where I'm kind of going with this because I've strayed away from the shorts, but it's interesting that these shorts are 100% polyester. So that may be another reason why I might not intentionally buy another pair of these shorts. But at the end of the day, going into summer, these are going to be fire. These are going to be fire in the summer. I mean, it's mesh. So you're going to have a lot of airflow through it, and you're just going to be able to walk and not have the problem of a buildup of sweat, you know, stench and all that. Like, you're going to be real cool, calm, and collected. I'm telling you, mesh is good for breathability, for sure. But again, the whole polyester talk, it's out there, so I can't act like I don't know it. And I don't really own too much polyester. Most of my stuff is cotton. So this is not going to be a detriment to my body at all. I'm very conscious of what I put in my body and all that. So like this one little polyester pair of shorts is not going to affect me completely. But yeah, I'm actually glad that I got these shorts though, because like I find these shorts had a cultural moment. People were rocking these shorts. I mean, a lot, bro. I mean, I saw them everywhere. Every color you could think of, every partnership they had, I saw the shorts everywhere. So, like, getting my own experience and actually having a pair is dope because I feel like even though I missed out on the trend for it, you know, I can understand now why people are rocking them so much. Yeah, I think they're good shorts. $98 good, especially when I could get, like, a pair of shoes for that price. It just doesn't make sense to me, you know? I can't do it. But next. All right, so these next two items, I actually forgot to mention these earlier in this video where I was discussing the things that already have a dedicated video on my page. But I forgot to mention these two Stussy belts that I picked up. So again, if you do want to watch my reaction or like my thoughts and opinions when I initially got these, that video is right here. But I feel like in my review of these, I was a little too harsh. I was like, these are definitely going to be my last Stussy belts. I didn't like the way they fit. But I feel like now having them for like a month or almost 2 months, like they're not that bad. They're actually pretty decent belts. And I've been able to put them and integrate them into my closet very easily. I think the issue was they hadn't been like broken in just yet. And even though I don't think like they are like the best belts I've had in the past, I think they are, for the price point, very decent belts. Very on-trend belts, very stylish belts. Again, I think my review of these were like a little bit harsh when I went back and watched it. They are great. They are good. Could they be better? Yes. But I think I kind of painted a bad light of these when I initially did the review for them. And I really haven't had, you know, the major issues that I had with the length of them lately. I feel like I've been actually pretty okay with the length of the belts lately. I don't know what that is. You know, maybe it was just fresh out the packet. It was a little stiff and they hadn't been broken in yet. They haven't loosened up. I don't know why that was a big issue, but now that I've had them for a little bit longer, they're actually very decent. But I did want to include that because that is a more updated thought and opinion about these belts. And I don't think I will do another video anytime soon. So I just want to include these belts in it because, you know, this is something I have picked up within the past couple months. And I think my review on these was very harsh. But next. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, there ain't too many items out there that can get me a little geek, man. You know, I like me a little vintage piece. I like a little archive piece. But if there's another thing that I love more than archive and finds at a vintage store, is 101s, man. Listen, Shout out to the homie Abu over at Joonieverselab. If you don't know Joonieverselab, you definitely want to get well acquainted with Joonieverselab. And if you remember this piece right here, this track jacket became a staple in my closet. I mean, I rock it to get on a plane. I rock it to throw a cold fit on. I rock it just when I'm out and about. Like, I throw this jacket on so much, bro. So the homie was like, listen, what colors would you want that in? I'm just spitballing ideas. I didn't even think he was thinking of this. Like, I was just spitballing ideas. I'm like, you should do a green and a yellow. I'm biased because I want like the Oakland A's colors just because I'm from the Bay Area. And the homie sent over the full set, bro. This set is fire. And I know once I get the pants cropped or once I get the pants tailored, because they is a little baggy. They a little baggy. I understand. It's a sample. You know what I mean? I get it. But I got to get them tailored. But once these pants are tailored, I am going to be rocking this full set. I can't even get the word out. I'm about to be rocking this set so often because this is the colors that I just love. Green is my favorite color. And I feel like green and yellow is just like one of those things that just go well together. Green and yellow is like, I couldn't think of it. I'm sorry. Couldn't think of it. But yeah, I think it has a really nice weight to it. So again, I don't think I'll be rocking this so much, especially as we move into summer. But like when fall and winter come around, oh, y'all gonna be tired of me rocking this. I promise you that. And it just feels good, man. It feels good. It's a nice weight on it. And it's like not overly doing too much. Like y'all know I harp on that a lot. I love when people can add a design or, you know, add characteristics to something to make it feel like them, but like not overdo it to where like, you know, you can't really rock it that often. Like this is like that perfect balance of like having a longevity piece, but also adding your own flair to it. Because yes, it has certain design elements. It's not just like a standard track jacket. But it's still very much so simple enough to where you can have longevity with this piece. But like this piece is fire, bro. This tracksuit, man, listen, these are my colors, bro. These are my color palette. But yeah, if you don't know Joonieverselab, you definitely want to be tapped in because he got something on the horizon. Now, he sent it in the group chat. I seen what it looked like. He got some heat about to come out, y'all. So y'all definitely want to be tapped in with bro. I promise you that. But that is going to wrap up this recent pickup video. Again, I really didn't have much going on, but I definitely picked up some very solid pieces. But I'm curious, as always, what was your favorite piece from this recent pickup video? I'm always curious on what you guys think of the things I'm picking up. But without further ado, like I always do, I'll catch y'all on the next one.
But I love the way you work it. Ay, I love the way you work it for me.